Hey folks, welcome back to this. Dizzy had pried off the top of the well and discovered a secret passage. Since no secret passage can go unexplored, Dizzy decides to head down the well. Now, read on. Falling down the well doesn't actually hurt you. In fact, it actually helps you quite a lot. See? We end up in a strange new world, where everything is upside down. Oh boy, this... really hope this doesn't end with some offensive Australian stereotypes. Ah, who am I kidding? Of course it will. What we need to do is go to the market square and actually wait around for a little bit. A fairly unintuitive puzzle, but given some of the things that we've seen thus far, is it really that surprising? The text there is from an old kids series called Mr. Ben. The text was what signified when the shopkeeper had turned up. And there he is. Now, you remember what Denzel said about getting to the Cloud Castle? He said to get there the same way that Jack did. Now, Jack planted a bean, and Jack got the bean by swapping his cow. We happen to have a cow in our inventory, so let's offer it. See what this guy will give us. As if we didn't already know. And with that, he gives us a bean. There's an advert on TV at the moment for car insurance or whatever. It makes mention that there's a word for people who can't haggle. English! Whilst we're here, we need to make a particularly annoying jumping section. We have to go onto this barrel, onto this platform, and into the church. And we can find ourselves at the final golden key. Another difference between this version and the Amiga version, the Amiga users got an extra life on this screen. Not the CPC. Oh no, we're punished with fiery death. Not at all helped by the fact that Dizzy, being an egg, rolls around like you would not believe. It's hard enough to do these stupid jumping sections in, you know, when it's properly oriented. I absolutely cannot do them inverted. So, fun fact, all of the reviews for this game, at least in the magazine that I read, they had the screens displayed in this style, where everything was the right way up, except for the screens. I wonder why they did it. Probably mass confusion. Anyway, we have the final golden key, and we can start the last engine in the lift room. And with this key, would you believe we're more than halfway through the game already? It's true! This is a fun Dizzy game, but it's also, I think it's the second shortest. But let's not hold that against it. Okay, we're done with Australia for now, so let's head into the well and go down the well. And since we haven't done so for a while, let's check our inventory, shall we? We are carrying a shiny golden key, a bean, a bucket, and a pickaxe. It's fairly obvious what all of these things do, so I can't imagine you'll have much trouble solving these things before I announce the solution. Kinda like that one guy in the cinema who absolutely will not shut up. But hey, that's kinda what I'm doing by giving commentary to these videos. It's kinda what you signed up for, folks. And if you didn't sign up, well then why not? Do it. Do it right now. Further to the right, this screen is called the Smelly Allotment. 20 Americans watching. An allotment is a patch of ground owned by a local government, which is freely given to people who wish to use it to grow fruits and vegetables. And beanstalks. Also, for some reason, the game includes an option to try and collect the manure over here, if you feel like collecting it for whatever reason. We'll use the allotment in a second, but we have one last item to collect first. Heading over to the right, we come to the base of a volcano and a small pool of water. This is about the only body of water in the game which will not kill you. So just have fun running around and splashing about all you like. When you're done, we need to use the bucket to scoop some water up. Dick move alert! Rather than swapping one item from the other, the game will drop the bucket, as you've seen, and you have to pick it up again. Can you imagine how many little kids played this game and thought that it had broken because the bucket had gone from my inventory, even though I used it properly and I hadn't even cheated a little bit? Quite a few, I reckon. In any case, with the bean and the bucket of water in hand, we can go over to the manure. We can use the bean. And we can use the bucket. Presto! Dehydrated beanstalk. Just add water. Let's empty our inventory and head up the beanstalk. Hi, I'm Snorlax, used as an amusing representation of the CPC gamer. The following portion of the video has been removed for your sanity. Climbing the beanstalk took 30 minutes. It included 27... Oh, come on! 13 dammits, 2 Frels, and 1 Belgium. Thus, we rejoin our hero at the top of the beanstalk. Here we are at the entrance to the Big Bad's castle. There's an egg right here. We're going to be grabbing that. And unfortunately, that's what we came here to do. We're done. We have accomplished what we needed to do, and now we need to go back to the bottom of the beanstalk. Okay, to save you listening to me rage, I instead decided to cut out a little bit of backtracking. In my absence, we went to the lift control hut, as well as picking up the pickaxe and the key that we had previously put down. What we're going to do is we're going to use the shining gold key to open up the last terminal. However, we are not going to go and find the lift that we have just activated. No, sir. We're going to wait for the lift to go up. And we're going to head underneath it into the dragon's lair. Insert laserdisc joke here. Ha ha ha! Insert. What we need to do is we need to take the lift down. And we need to stand in the nest and drop off the dragon's egg that we have just picked up. And what we've seen here is an interesting bug in the game's collision engine. Because we were stood close to the egg, the egg that was already in the nest, we picked it up. So we've actually managed to take one of the eggs, which somehow managed to subdue the dragon. But let's not talk about that. Let's also not talk about the fact that we drugged up her mate. We come to a gold mine. Heading to the right. We find our friend, the troll. This is unfortunate, since it's a happening that's entirely possible to miss, especially since you aren't told to use the apple at the beginning of the game. Aren't you glad that I'm here to avoid these frustrations by visiting them upon myself? I know I'm not. What we need to do is head over to the left here to this stack of boulders, and we need to use our pickaxe. This will allow us access to the passageway above the dragon, and, in turn, a shining new rug. With this, we can leave the mines. We can also leave the pick, because we're done with it. In the Amiga version, you could break down this pile of rocks up here, and it would take you to a screen that would let you farm some items. But as I've mentioned a couple times in the videos here, this is actually a cut down version of the game, and there's no such screen in this game. So, yeah, we got a magical rug. That's pretty awesome. Now we can go back to the castle and save Daisy. But that means going up the beanstalk again. I don't want to climb the beanstalk again. And the clouds, and the invisible platforms, and the hidden trapdoors, and the half hour of frustration and pain, and